Hello, English learners, and welcome to the World News in Simple English. Today is May the 26th, and here are our top stories. Brazil is now second in the world, with more than 365,000 people having the coronavirus, and nearly 23,000 lost to COVID-19. In China, many workers are having a very difficult time because of lower salary and not being able to find a job during the pandemic. A small earthquake happened when New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was talking about lifting the country's social distancing rules. In Dubai, a city for online shopping is being built. People living there will pay no income tax or corporation tax and will have convenient shopping and advanced services. A number of countries in Europe are coming together to welcome tourists again in what they call travel bubble. As supplies such as food are becoming harder to get during the COVID-19 pandemic, Native Americans are planning to grow and make food on their own land. Bumble Bees can make a plant flower earlier than usual, and that scientists believe is the bumblebee's way to survive when the climate is changing. Our top news story today is the coronavirus update in Brazil. Brazil is having another horrible day. In just 24 hours, 15,813 new cases of coronavirus were found. This brings the total number up to 363,000 in Brazil, and nearly 23,000 have died. Last Saturday saw Brazil jump ahead of Russia and the UK to have the second highest number of COVID-19 cases, only after the United States. Recently, the daily number of COVID-19 cases in Brazil has been in the thousands. Many places in Brazil now have social distancing rules to stop the spread of the virus. So far, China has had much success in stopping the coronavirus from spreading in their country. Many things are made in China. However, since the beginning of the pandemic, many factories have fewer buyers, and shops as well as services like restaurants were in lockdown. After that, many Chinese workers lost their jobs, and some still cannot find a new one. A large number of workers went back to work in April, but most of them received lower salary, meaning they got less money from their job. Up to the end of March, about 2.3 million workers in China had received help and money from the government. It is a small number compared to the tens of millions of workers in China who were affected by the pandemic. Some experts warn that a lot of people not having work can be a problem to society, as many can get into crimes and do bad things to make a living. While New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was talking about having fewer social distancing rules for the country, a small earthquake with a magnitude of 5.8 happened in the area. People use magnitude to measure the power of an earthquake. If the magnitude is 2.5 or less, we can't often feel it. A 2.5 to 5.4 magnitude earthquake can be felt but causes little damage. A 5.5 to 6 can cause damage to the building. Earthquakes that are above a magnitude of 6 can cause real, serious damage. New Zealand's most recent earthquake is quite mild. Luckily, no one is reported to be hurt by it. Also, New Zealand has been successful in stopping the spread of COVID-19. The number of those in New Zealand who have had the virus is 1,158. Out of those cases, more than 1,400 have recovered. 21 deaths to COVID-19 have been reported. The success of New Zealand is because of early lockdown, early widespread testing, meaning everyone can test for the coronavirus, and immediate contact tracing, which means finding the people who talk to those having COVID-19 and asking them to stay home. All over the world during lockdown, many people have been shopping online much more than before. As a result, Dubai is building a new city for online shopping, or e-commerce. Called Commerce City, it will stretch over a small area of nearly 200,000 square meters. 3 parts of the city will be business, logistics, which means moving things from one place to another, and social. There will be space for 12 office buildings with modern facilities, equipment and furniture for companies that sell things online. People living in Dubai Commerce City will pay no income or corporation tax, so you don't have to pay a part of the money you make to the government. Last week, we discussed Europe's plans to allow travel for summer tourists within Europe. Tourism is an important part of many countries in Europe. Many people make a living selling things or services to visitors from other countries. Without tourism, it has been very hard to European countries. But with lockdown rules lifted, some countries are reopening to welcome tourists. Countries such as Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia have made travel bubble, allowing one another's people to travel freely between the 3 countries. Other countries in Europe are planning to do the same. This could mean people from countries with low number of COVID-19 cases can travel freely without having a 14-day quarantine. Italy said last week that it would be ready to welcome tourists within Europe on June the 3rd. The coronavirus pandemic has been terrible for European countries. Italy especially, with more than 32,000 deaths to COVID-19. Food is becoming more expensive and harder to get in some parts of the world. Most Native Americans are also affected. Before the pandemic, they depend on grocery stores. Now, Native Americans are worried about how to feed their families when they cannot go to shops like they used to. It is a wake-up call for Cynthia Wilson, who realized Native Americans need to go back to growing their own food or raising their own livestock or farm animals. This month, she started the Seeds and Sheep program to send out 1,500 packets of seeds for people to grow their own food. Other Native American groups have done the same. Seeds in the packets are corn, squash, melons, and beans. If people plant them now, they will be ready to harvest by late summer or fall. Across the country, people are returning to farming as a hobby and make themselves self-reliant, meaning they don't have to depend on others for their food. Native Americans feel this is the return to their roots and traditions, to be free and enjoy the fruits of the earth that they grow themselves is a wonderful thing. Bumblebees outside the tropics have found an amazing way to make trees flower earlier. This is important to bumblebees, which hibernate or sleep during the cold months of winter. Bees eat pollen and drink nectar from flowers, and plants need bees to pollinate their flowers, which means going from flower to flower. But this relationship depends on time. As the climate changes, bumblebees can wake up sooner than plants can make flowers. This would kill all bumblebees. But bees are smart, and they notice that if they make small holes in the plant's leaves, that tells the plants to flower sooner. Scientists test this on tomato plants and found that those with leaves cut by the bees flower 30 days earlier, and those with leaves cut by a razor 25 days earlier. Scientists also found that when there is much food, bumblebees do not cut the leaves. That's today's news in simple English. I'm Kieran Wynn. Please stay safe and stay hopeful. See you next time. Hello everyone. Thanks for watching. If you like to learn English through the news, you can hit subscribe to get notified of any new videos.